days, afternoon highs into the mid 80s, and maybe even a little less humid, as it does look like an upper trough will move through, perhaps dropping our humidity down by a few degrees, making it feel a little bit more comfortable during the days, and our morning should be a couple of degrees cooler, but only in the 60s for our morning lows. We're back into the upper 80s by the weekend, and early next week is an upper high builds in. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, good evening. Doug Sunseri. Michelle Demmer Sunseri. All things legal. No, what did I say? Ida Recovery Connection. It is hard to break old habits. If you can give us a call at 260-1870, 260-1870, or you can call us on our talk and text line, and we can we can answer your questions regarding Hurricane Ida insurance, your recovery questions, FEMA questions, your contractors questions. We can do it all. So Michelle, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And I think we'll just sort of go to the same discussions we had last week. Or last night. I'm off tonight, man. Working 12 hours and then doing this. Got to get my head straight here. But we'll sort of continue our discussions. You call us 260-1870 or text us, and we'll talk about where the different phase that people are in as far as their IDA insurance claims, and getting a lot of good feedback from listeners who are saying it's been somewhat helpful as far as giving them knowledge on how to respond to these very complex issues. Now, I've been an attorney for 33 years, and I have to still read these policies to figure out what's going on all these different policies. I mean, they're not, a lot of them are 50, 60, 70 pages. And, sometimes when I do read them, my head's about to explode.
Can you imagine if you weren't a lawyer?
Well, that's my point. And that's what I'm getting at is that, we read these policies all the time. At least now I read enough of them where I can skip over the stuff I don't need to read and then look at the, items that are relevant. So I can at least go through the 50 or 60 pages and say, I'm going to skip these first 10. I can go to page 11 and 12 to find out what the answer to the question is. And it's very difficult, and I'm always learning things. In fact, I'm in a profession that if I misspeak on the radio, my colleagues are very gleeful in informing me
of how wrong you are.
How wrong I was. And, I would like to think they want to help me out, but they seem to have too much enjoyment in pointing that out. No, I'm just kidding. So, but I guess what I'm trying to state is doing this for 33 years. And I mean, we've had several, hurricane trials, flood trials. I mean, we've been through the mill with this, a couple of thousand claims, and I'm still learning things.
I think that's just the practice of law.
Right. But so I think a lot of people get up, policyholders call me with questions because you might have maybe a claims field adjuster or a desk adjuster who's been in the industry for 6 months or a year giving opinions about the policy, and they're very confused about it. And so one of the things that I think policyholders could understand is that because their field adjuster or their desk adjuster makes a statement on maybe the scope of coverage or if something's covered or not covered, you can test that hypothesis with them. Just don't accept it as being true all the time.
Well, I think what people need to understand is the field adjuster and the desk adjuster they're not the interpreter of what the policy says.
And that's sort of my point in saying this. Like, we just had a caller before from Slidell who heard the text about the wind-driven rain that was going through the door and the bottom of the door.
Right. That was from last night.
Right. We read a text last night about a caller, a policyholder who said that, they had wind-driven rain that was going through the bottom of the door because basically at 100 miles an hour, the rain is not going straight up and down. It's going somewhat sideways.
Right.
And it's beating against the door. And what we're saying is that a lot of times when that wind-driven rain is beating through doors or windows, it will impair the seal to it and come through. And one of the adjusters had indicated to policyholder that this was seepage from a 100-mile-an-hour wind. Now, seepage is the slow infiltration of water over a pre-existing opening over an extended period of time. That was sort of my rant on seepage. But
That's a good definition. Where'd you get that definition?
I just came out. I was educated at Del Sal.
They taught you about seepage?
Yes. Well, I give all credit to Mr. Stabler, my English teacher in 8th grade, and Mr. Altabello.
Seepage is one of the vocabulary words.
And history too. So, no, but it's basically that. But my point in saying that, and I'm not saying that I think maybe the insurance adjuster was reading the policy and interpreted it in a way he thought it might be interpreted. Sure. So it's a very difficult to interpret these policies. And we have books and books in our library on interpreting insurance policies. We have judges on the Supreme Court who 5 might go one way and 4 might go the other way. So again, it's very complicated. And so it's okay to test that hypothesis. And we had a very nice lady I talked to before we got on air, and she said, something just felt right, didn't feel right, because I was being told that water was being, wind-driven rain that was coming through the bottom of my door was flood.
Right.
And so I said, well, let's test this hypothesis. I said, did it rain in your subdivision? No. Did it rain did it flood in your subdivision? Did it flood in your the bayou in your subdivision? No. Did it flood in the front of your yard? No. Did it flood in the back of your yard? No. Did it flood in your walkway? No. Did it flood in your driveway? No. Well, how was it flood? And so it's just, again, and that's part of what the function of the show is to just give knowledge so that you're able to have a conversation with knowledge on maybe addressing certain issues that could help you maximize your recovery under your insurance policy.
And that's easy for people who are a little bit more outgoing. But there are some people who, they're afraid to stand up for themselves, and they take what the adjuster says as the truth or the final statement. And so I think that's what people need to do. They need to advocate for themselves.
And I'm not here to beat up on anybody. It's a very, very tough job. And I was telling you how hard it is for me to interpret insurance policies after doing this for 33 years and having my head explode reading them a lot of these times. And so what I'm trying to do is say, these are very complicated coverages. There's all kinds of litigation over interpreting policies, twisting it, turning it, sure, seeing how it extends. So when a desk adjuster or insurance adjuster, or even me, make a general statement, it's not necessarily gospel. That's immutable. It can be tested. It can be changed. It can be interpreted different.
It can be challenged in a court of law.
It can be challenged, and it can be challenged with the insurance company. Sure. It could be a challenge with a readjustment. It could be challenged with a dispute resolution within the insurance company. So again, it's when the policyholder hears something, maybe a good question to ask is, why do you think that?
Yeah, I find if you ask questions rather than stating your opinion, you're going to get more of a dialogue, and you'll get more information as to why they think what they're thinking. They might have assumed something that was incorrect.
Like the lady who we talked to earlier. I don't want to use her name, but she's a very sweet lady.
Yeah, she was good.
From Slidell. And she would say, maybe when she was told this was flood. And so the homeowner's not going to address it. So, well, okay, well, tell me why you think it's flood. Now, it is said it came from the bottom up. In other words, and where did the water come from? Where did it pool? Was there an overflow? Those kind of questions, or just ask.
Right.
And maybe you'll get a dialogue where sometimes I say, okay, I see your point. Maybe I have to reconsider this.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But I guess in this segment, what I wanted to convey in a very, it's like I guess I take a long walk on a short pier, I guess, in the sense that,
Trying to picture
meaning
that.
what I mean is I drew this concept out in about 10-minute explanation in the sense that these are very complicated policies. They have very complicated interpretations. You could have very smart lawyers who would disagree on the interpretations.
Sure.
And we have that all the time.
Well, if not, there would never be any policy issues in court. I mean, judges cannot agree all the time. Sometimes you have a jury trying to determine, it's an issue for the jury. What was the intent of what does this policy mean?
So, right. So again, my point is, if a contemporaneous statement is made in an isolated situation by the insurance company, it's not necessarily gospel, especially on disputed issues and on the extent of coverage.
Sure.
Or the extent of indemnity or reimbursement. So, it's just one of those things. It's just you have to test them. And I would say today I spent 2 hours just from WWL callers saying I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
I think
and trying.
people are confused.
Yes. And a lot of them said, it's just something doesn't feel right in my gut when I'm told this, but I don't know why. And I just need some information as to how to respond to this. And
So if you had to give them 3 pointers, how would you respond?
well, I think one of the things is where does it say this in the policy? Where what are you basing this on? Because a lot of times we can just give an answer without thinking about why we're saying it.
Right.
So one is, where is it? What is the language in the policy that supports that? And why are you taking that position?
Or what do you see? What have you seen in the house, on the grounds, on that lens? Like, what did he see that lent it to be flood
versus wind? And then maybe, I guess the third is, how sure are you about this, or can you be persuaded otherwise? And why not?
And mine is always put it in writing. Yes.
Well, that's one thing too. I think what's a good idea is after you have, especially an unproductive conversation, or even if the insurance company promises you to pay you something.
Sure.
It's good to follow up with an email, because I think most of them are communicating with email, or some of them are text, but email is probably better.
Yeah, I always say if you're having a conversation, a verbal conversation, always confirm it by email.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go to our first break. It's Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri. I'm not going to say all things legal. I'm going to say it's the Ida Recovery Connection on Tuesday and Wednesday nights from 8 to 10. So we'll be back after our first break. See you in about 3 minutes after this brief timeout.
Besh has it at the 41 near side. Breaks an arm tackle at the 20, the 15. Jack Besh with a...
Okay, Michelle's just a little bit low in her volume level, and you seem to be all right.
Complete and a turnover on downs. LSU will take over. One-on-one. Keyshawn Butte has it. He's in. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
LSU battles the Wildcats
Big
at Kentucky
anniversary
Saturday.
diamonds are becoming a hot new trend.
Especially
Doug,
in
can
New
you hear me?
Orleans.
And
Yeah,
now
I
the
hear
trend
you
is
good.
twice as big, twice as hot.
Tell them, Lori. Tell them.
Women are now buying big anniversary diamonds for their men.
As big as the one he bought her?
As big as the one that he bought her.
It got started when men started giving women diamonds at least twice as big as the one in their engagement ring.
And then the lady said,
Okay, we have two holdings so far. We have Philip from
everyone
Laplace.
likes games that two can play.
Something to do with getting a death certificate for a piece of property that they're trying to do something with.
It's
Secondly,
time for
we
a
have Mike from
2-carat diamond.
Folsom and a question about
Everywhere
self-insurance,
you
and I
go,
got
people
another
are
one
gonna
coming
ask
in.
you about your diamond.
What you tell them is up to you.
You found a partner to share your life with?
And now it's time to celebrate.
2 big diamonds or just the beginning.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunity for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
I'm going to be Mike Brandner. Your car's like part of family. It takes you to work, drops the kids off at school, and goes with you on vacation. You feel safe in your car, but all that changes in an instant. Money for medical bills, car repairs, and lost wages. You need help, and you need it now. Call 345-1111. The call is free, the consultation is free, and the advice is free. You have nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain.
Correct. Mike Brander's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now. Spread your payments over 5 years and...
Okay, that's Philip from LaPlace and Mike from Folsom.
Go to RayBrandAuto.com.
This is Newell for the Ray Brand Auto Group. Used car values are at an all-time high due to supply and demand constraints.
Okay, the Babbel commercial is the last one before we go live.
Think again. Pre-owned values have skyrocketed, so sell them your vehicle today while the market is still hot. Visit any Ray Brand dealership website to get your KBV instant cash value or swing into one of their stores today. Check it out and come to RayBrandAuto.com.
Go to RayBrandAuto.com.
Have you tried learning a new language but it never seems to stick? That's because there's more to language than learning vocab words. Babbel is different. Babbel's multiple ways to learn helps you explore every aspect of a new language, anytime, right from your phone or computer. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help from an instructor in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people. We keep them small so everyone can get the help and practice they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning motivation, Babbel gives you the tools you'll need to explore your new language. And Babbel is built around real life. Everything from the interactive lessons and live online classes to the podcasts and games will teach you things you'll actually use. So you're ready for real-life conversations. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. More ways to explore. More ways to learn. Start learning today at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection, from the station you turn to when it counts. WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on the Ida Recovery Connection. We're on till 10 o'clock. Give us a call at 260-1870 on the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Philip in LaPlace. Oh, man, LaPlace, man. Hey, Philip, how are you doing, man?
All right, how you doing tonight?
How's man?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. What you got for us?
Oh, well, go ahead. I'll hear what you're going to say.
No, I was just saying, man, LaPlace, man, it looked like a bomb went off in LaPlace, huh?
Yeah, it's my wife's first hurricane. She's from up north, and that's exactly. She told my mom it's like a big old, huge F5 just sat over this place.
Yeah. So
but here's the situation I have. I've been trying for almost 2 years now to get my uncle's death certificate because me and my brothers are named via my father who died 16 years ago because my uncle left my father here. She has some family property here on Place. And we have mineral rights for it, and I have to get a copy of his death certificate with some unclaimed property and to get the rest of the royalties and stuff that we have from Texaco. Now, I'm having nothing but problems, even though I'm an heir, because I'm not a son or a brother or a father or something like that. So I'm having nothing but hurdles coming in front of me because I can't get justice warrant in New Orleans for his death certificate. How can I get it?
It's okay. Well, we got a little help. Has a succession been open?
It's been settled. The estate has been settled. It's been going on for 12 years. I have a copy of the judgment of possession.
You got a judgment of possession. Because what they can do is they just passed a law where the attorneys can get the death certificates. So if you can't get one yourself.
I called the attorney that did the succession, and they want nothing to do with it, even though they've already been paid through the estate.
Yeah. Maybe you can get another attorney to do that, and they'll be the new attorney for the estate and write off for it. So that would be to get a death certificate is a little bit more relaxed with the change of law. So if
I could just go to the Office of Vital Records in New Orleans, which is only open by appointment, and nobody ever answers the phone.
Well,
I could get it.
Welcome to our world here.
I know. And I have like $18,000 sitting in limbo.
You know what I would do?
The case is already, the succession's already.
But what you're going to have to do though.
Why can't you just move?
What you're going to have to do though is you're going to have to have a succession representative reappointed for your father's estate. So you're actually going to have to open up the estate again. And what you'd have to do is open up the estate. Yeah, you can do that. You can open up the estate for the sole purpose of claiming an unidentified asset. And so, that happens.
Okay. I think the asset's been identified. We use
for the estate knew ahead of time. Okay, because I had already told him about the unclaimed property.
But it is right. It's your father's unclaimed property, right?
Right. It was enough to my father, but my father passed away 16 years ago.
So you have heirs are entitled to that. Is that correct?
Right. Me and my two brothers.
Okay. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get more than a death certificate because they need to know who's the representative to pay the money to. In other words, the succession representative. So what you may have
I already have copies of both my brothers' driver's licenses and socials, and copies of mine, and I have the judgment of possession and my father's death certificate.
I understand that, but when we've done this before, they want a succession representative to act on behalf of the estate to collect the money. They need an executor.
Okay, so that would be like me or my two brothers.
No, I'm telling you what you have to do. What you have to do is because we've done this before. Okay, I've done this. I did this last month, and with unclaimed property with Department of Treasury, the Louisiana Department of Treasury, is that you have to open up the succession again and get one of you guys appointed because they can't deal with all three of y'all. All three of y'all are entitled to the money. They have to write it out to the succession, and they need a succession representative appointed to marshal these assets and pay it out to the heirs. So that's what I'm saying. We did this last month, and what you have to do is open the succession back up. It's not a big deal. You hire an attorney to do that, and then when you open it up, you say there's some recently identified assets with Louisiana Department of Treasury, and your brothers pick one of y'all to do it. And that we pick one of the brothers to act as the succession representative. You get letters of administration, and then you send that up to the Department of Treasury, and then they will pay you the money.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, so you can do that. Any succession attorney can do that. All right, my man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening.
You too. Let's go to Mike. He's got a question regarding self-insurance. Hey, Mike, you in the Ida Recovery Connection?
Yeah, Doug. Yeah. I was just curious. Over the last 15 years, I've paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $64,000 since the last claim from Katrina for my insurance on my house.
Yes, sir.
Now they want to give me $7,000 to replace the roof. And I was just wondering if I could have saved that $64,000, I could have replaced that roof very easily.
Well, most mortgage companies
instead of paying them premiums. Now, do you think that's worthwhile situation?
No. Well, I think for most people you have to have insurance because they have a mortgage. I
don't have a mortgage.
Right. If you don't have a mortgage, you won't have to have insurance. You're just playing Russian roulette. if there's
but with what they throw at you is the depreciation of the roof, and they knock it down. The roof's probably worth 15.
Well,
and it would have gone another 10 years easy without any problem.
Sure.
But
the insurance covers more than
shingles
damage to your property. Insurance is a liability in case someone gets hurt on your property as well.
Yeah, there's other aspects of it.
That's another point. Could I just get liability insurance?
You can.
Skip all of the homeowner stuff, like the roof and the wind damage and all that crap, and just stick with liability in case some idiot falls down on my porch.
Well, there's a couple of things. They used to call it fire insurance because basically insurance was for fire.
Right.
Now, now we have hurricanes and we have other natural disasters, but they originally called it fire insurance. Now, the second aspect, insurance policies are like cars. You can get a Yugo or you can get a Cadillac or anywhere in between. You can buy insurance policy that has replacement cost value in your roof, so you're not arguing about depreciation. Or you can, have a policy that's sort of maybe like a Toyota Corolla. That is the basics. No disrespect to Toyota, but I'm just trying to give an example of the difference in attributes of these policies.
So replacement insurance would be probably the best way to go.
It costs more money, but yeah. For insurance, that's the Cadillac, man. Because you don't worry about whatever it costs to replace your roof. That's what they're paying. There's no depreciation. There's no, so
there's no BS in it.
Well, there's less deductions. And again, we didn't have a hurricane. A lot of people didn't have hurricanes for 15 years. So if they didn't get insurance in those 14 years, they are out ahead. But if they didn't get it that 15th year, they're behind. Some people would still be ahead. It's just a risk. All insurance is spreading out your risk. And, most people don't have the stomach, to have risk, and rightfully so. So, it's now, as far as, you're concerned on your roof, what is your deductible?
It was like $2,900.
Okay. Did you have water stains in your ceilings or walls?
No, did not. We fixed it before the rains came.
Okay. So, in other words, so you fixed the water. They didn't get water stains. Well, is the insurance company saying because of the depreciation they only want to pay you $7,000 minus the $3,000?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
and that's what kind of ticks me off because Jesus, I know the roof would have gone another. It's a 25-year roof. It's been 15, 16 years now, and it would have gone another 10 for sure. It's not leaking.
Right.
Except for the wind damage that it had. But now, since I paid $64,000 in the last 15 years, and they're going to give me $7,000. Now, I know it's going to cost me $15,000 to replace it.
Right, so you got three. Now, and again, that's part of that is a function that you might have bought a Ford Taurus and you wanted a Cadillac. I
guess so.
That's part of the function of that. Now, some of it is, can the insurance company maybe take too much depreciation? Do they often do it? Yeah. So,
they do. Should I contest this?
Yeah, you can get in a haggling match over the depreciation. Absolutely. So I'd ask them, where did you get your depreciation number? What did you base it on? What was the table you based it on?
Okay.
Ask a few questions. But my man, Mike, thanks for the call. We got to go to a break. Wish you best of luck. The Ida Recovery Connection, Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demerson Sunseri. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert.
Okay, we got to fix Michelle's mic because she's way low.
Teams you love. Catch Sports Talk weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Then game day, connect to the home team. On air, online, on social.
That's good.
WWL.
Yes.
A great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and
we are clear at the moment.
We're clear. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code LA Sports. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code LA Sports to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code LA Sports. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com.
When the earth was new, tubes of lava flowed up from the heart of the earth.
And those lava tubes are the diamond mines of today.
I love diamonds.
But created diamonds are born in a plasma chamber.
They are chemically, structurally, and optically identical to diamond mine diamonds.
A plasma chamber?
Plasma is not a solid, a liquid, or a gas.
It's the most rare substance on Earth.
But the most abundant substance in the universe.
Have I ever seen plasma?
A bolt of lightning is plasma.
And the sun is made of plasma.
Created diamonds are born inside a miniature sun?
You can think of it as a miniature sun or as a ball of lightning.
You have to put a tiny seed of diamond into the plasma chamber for every created diamond you hope to make.
So that's why we call them newborns.
Diamond mine diamonds and created diamonds.
We give you every choice.
Welcome to Ramsey's.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
The New Orleans you love is back. Our kitchens are bustling. Charbroiled oysters, poor boys, and gumbo coming right up. Our street corners are musical again. Jazz, soul, and funk fill the air. Our shops are open. Our museums are ready to walk you through history, filling you with stories to tell long after you're gone. But you're never really gone, not for long. What have you missed the most? Visit NewOrleans.com to plan your trip. We can't wait to see you.
Vinyltech is ready to help our hometown recover. We've tripled our staff and ordered 4 to 5 times more material than Cat 4 Hurricane Michael in Panama City and Cat 4 Hurricane Laura in Lake Charles. This is our hometown, and we know Cat 4 hurricanes and what it takes better than anyone. No one can get you back to exterior pre-storm conditions faster. This isn't a job for us. This is our passion, and this time, it's personal. Services we provide are tarping, roofing, siding, gutters, window, stucco, and patio covers. One word, vinyltechnola.com.
Have you heard all these new national chain store ads that claim guaranteed low price? Like it's something new? Well, it isn't. Oakland Heart has been offering a best price guarantee for decades on the most exquisite diamond jewelry in the region. It's one reason why Gambit readers once again voted us best local jeweler. Apparently being local and honest means something. For finer diamonds and the best price, shop smart at Oakland Heart on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
Wherever your next adventure lies, the 2021 Highlander and Tundra are ready to take you there. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today.
Brandon Holly here. Stylish, quality, custom doors. ReliefWindows.com.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may
Okay, we got one more spot, the Navian spot coming up.
and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely.
Still no calls.
Hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-256-4180. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. Right, we had Coach O on before.
I didn't hear it.
I listened. I felt he's a little down. I could tell he was a little, he answered all the questions, but, I think he needs a little encouragement. He had a few callers who said, you'll be okay. So he seems to do well when his back's against the wall. Now, I know we have a household disagreement about Coach O.
Very big household disagreement.
But one of the things he has done is he made a few mistakes. Matt Canada, probably hiring two inexperienced coordinators to cut their teeth in the SEC. You'd rather them have cut their teeth at Jacksonville State or some other university, not here. But one thing he does, if once he does see a problem, he does correct it. And so we'll see with Kentucky. Now, I'm not a betting guy, but there is with WWL, there's the new BetQL network is available nationwide on Odyssey mobile app and website. Yep, wagertainment for every fan, morning, afternoon, and night. Get sports betting tips and the best in the game. Streaming now on Odyssey.com and Odyssey app. Now, that's a new feature with Odyssey. Now, I'm going to give free betting advice.
Okay.
From a hurricane lawyer. Take the Tigers. Take the Tigers this weekend. Take the points. And I'm going to be accountable next Tuesday when I come back on.
This should be interesting.
Take the Tigers against Kentucky. Okay. It's a sandwich game because they beat Florida. Fans storm the field. That tells you where their program is. You beat Florida and they storm the field. And then they play Georgia. So
we'll see.
Take Kentucky. Also, before we get back to this, because if we just talked about hurricane damage all the time, it might be a little less than... A little dry and a little less than happy. But we have a happy occasion coming Saturday.
We do.
Your mother is getting married.
My mother is getting married.
And, I guess she is, she's maybe older, I guess. She's older than you, right?
She's older than me.
She was born sometime shortly after Pearl Harbor. I'm not going to tell you when. So it's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing. It's been a great weekend.
So congratulations to Sharon. If she's listening, she'll be mad at me in the next 2 minutes because I want to ask you this.
Okay, I'm scared.
Okay, they're getting dressed here at the house before.
They are.
And they're going to get married down the street at a little country club, right?
Right.
Or are you going to give your mom the talk for the honeymoon? Or are you going to just sit her down and give her a little facts of life and give her the talk before she goes off on a honeymoon?
I haven't really thought about that. So, I might give her a talk. I'm not sure if it's going to be the talk.
The talk?
I'm not sure if it's the talk. I think I was a product of the talk.
Oh, you were? That's true. So.
It'll be interesting, though. It'll be fun.
Now, they just bought a house.
They're building a house.
They're building a house. Are they going to have a family?
I don't know.
Do they have a nursery in there?
You keep asking that.
Nobody's responded. Nobody's responded. I assure them.
They've got plenty of grandkids, though. So.
They got grandkids. All right. Well, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is nice. It'll be fun.
When your mom walked out, we did a little renovation about a year ago. The construction men were whistling at her.
I know.
At 78. So Steve always seems happy. So I guess
he does. He is happy.
So congratulations to Sharon and Steve. And, may they have a long life together and a wonderful honeymoon.
There you go.
With or without advice from a dog. Oh, my goodness. All right. back to more stuff.
Back to hurricane.
Back to hurricane. Let's see. Good evening. This is text.
Okay.
Am I saying that right again?
Yeah, you're
Text.
right. You're good.
Good evening. Can you discuss why FEMA is raising the price of flood insurance? Maybe have someone from FEMA on your show or the insurance commissioner. I will say what I think the insurance commissioner would say is the flood insurance is underwritten by the government.
Right.
And the reason that flood insurance is underwritten by the government because private insurers do not want to write flood insurance because it is high risk.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a statistics that 90% of the population lives within 60 miles of a body of water.
That's an interesting
Something like
mm-hmm.
I might be a little off, but so a flood event would be catastrophic for a private insurance company, so they don't want to write it. So the government says we do want to write it, and they basically have a fund that is replenished by premiums. And so when you have flood events like we've had maybe the last 15 years, the fund becomes depleted, and then they go into a deficit to pay these flood claims. So therefore, that's why they have to raise
your premiums to rise.
Now, the fight is why are certain sections having their premiums raised and not others? That's usually what the fight's about.
I would think it would be the areas that are more susceptible to getting hit and with more frequency.
But the skepticism is the federal government's making these decisions, and some people think that the federal government isn't always right.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't think that way. I just said that so the IRS would leave me alone. I don't really believe that. But,
so you don't get thrown in the brig?
So I don't get thrown in the brig.
Good thing you're not in the military.
That's right. But again, so now some people get confused because the flood policies are administered maybe by Allstate, Wright Insurance Company, ASI, but they're just the administrators. They don't underwrite it.
Right.
And basically they have to answer to FEMA back in Omaha, in that bunker in Omaha, when they dispense the money out and make sure it's done properly. So therefore, the reason it's going up is because we've had so many events and the fund has been depleted and it has to be refilled, and they have to do that through premium. Also, too, the difference between the flood policies and wind policies are night and day.
They are.
The flood policies are skinny, meaning they have the benefits are limited. You just have structure, you have contents. There's no ALE. There's no...
Explain what ALE is.
Oh, yes. I'm speaking in acronyms. Additional living expenses. They don't have penalties if they don't pay on time. In fact, if you sue the flood insurer, you can't even get back your court cost. As what the government does, often they make laws and they say, these are the laws for the private companies and these are the laws for us because we don't want to live by the laws that we make for everyone else.
Yeah, that's just typical.
That's somewhat. But also, too, they do underwrite something that private industry doesn't want to underwrite also. So that's skinny. So that's the difference. And also, too, there's differences in how do you preserve your claim. You will have to file a proof of loss. As of now, you'd have to do it next month, but I'm sure that's going to be extended. And that's something I will get with the insurance commissioner on making. He's great. Jim Donald's a great insurance commissioner, and as far as getting that extended, so that's different. But that's in response to why the FEMA premiums are going up. So let's take a break. This is Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action.
Still no one on the line.
Millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable.
Okay, you're going to have in the neighborhood of 5 minutes till the top of the hour.
Whatever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers
are going to have a neighborhood of 5 minutes till the top of the hour.
Prizes.
Great.
Enter
Thank
code
you.
BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Here's an important message from Brad Hassert with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
License is required for any type of work over $7,500, and those who aren't licensed, to put it very bluntly, is we don't know who they are. We can't tell you that they're competent or they're any quality of work, and you often have no recourse. Those types of guys are the ones that typically take advantage of people in bad work or overcharge or essentially just out. You know, they take the money and they don't come and do any work at all. The problem with it is, though, that happens so frequently after any type of weather event. You know, they're anxious to get their stuff going. The board recommends that you verify licensure and insurance on anybody that you do business with. Anybody who wants to get paid cash, that's always a bad sign. I know that you want your house fixed. Just take a minute and just sort through it. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, let us know. www.lacontractor.org, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we possibly can.
That's lacontractor.org.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Doing your best work from home is not easy when you don't have the right space. California Closets will help you create a custom solution that works for you, your family, and your life. Whether it's a small space, shared space, multifunctional space, or kids space, our professional design consultants will help you get organized and make your space one that works better for you. Now you can love where you live and work. Schedule your free in-home or virtual design consultation today at CaliforniaClosets.com.
Is your retirement plan out of tune? Learn how to get yours in tune with the First Security Financial Show. Join host David Compton Saturday morning 8 to 9 for helpful tips to retirement. The First Security Financial Show, Saturdays on WWL.
Let's figure out how to find common ground again. At the Institute for Citizens and Scholars, we are focused on rebuilding democracy by broadening civic learning and supporting civil discourse. To learn more about how to get involved, visit us at citizensandscholars.org.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sunseri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Let's go to a text.
Okay.
And let's see, we have trees in the front yard. Hurricane Ida, which is the one that just passed, made one tree fall into the other tree. Trees did not fall into the house except for some branches. Arborists said trees had storm-related damage and the root system was compromised and both need to be removed. Desk adjuster said removal is not covered. Trees would have to have damage. Sometimes we insure. Is it true that... no, I'm not going to read that, but basically what they were asking is it true that it's not covered by the insurance policy? Probably not.
So you have to read your policy.
You have to read your policy, but basically, if the trees are on your fence in your house, it is paid for to have the tree removed from that location. And especially,
I think some policy also, if it falls across a driveway, I read one of them. There was some.
You got to read your policy and everything. So when we make a general statement, it's with the disclaimer, read your policy. But we're saying just generally, because there's so many different policies with different language, but we're just talking about the general principle. Generally, if it's on your house, on a fence, on a pool pump, or somewhere, the insurance company must pay to remove it.
Right.
Now, it's basically to drop it. Now, once they drop it off there, as far as the, stump grinding and all, that's something they may not pay for.
Yeah, probably not. If it was paid for, you have a Cadillac policy.
Right. Yeah. If you got a Cadillac, they'll probably do it. But now, if you may have a provision in your policy that states debris removal, and that could be maybe classified under debris removal, or they may have a provision that provides for removal of trees that do not impact with the structure. And sometimes they have coverages for $500 or $1,000 for that. So, yes, if it's not hitting the house, hitting the fence, hitting a pool pump, or hitting a structure, they're not going to pay for it. So you have to go to the tree removal provision in your policy. If you have it, they might have a $500 or $1,000. If they don't, maybe you can squeeze that under debris removal. All right, so that's answer that question. Next question that was text. Let's say, why do all people get help from FEMA when only some pay premiums? Now, we got to put this in two buckets. FEMA underwrites the flood policies.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the other benefits that you could apply for $500 for reimbursement of generator. I think you also get, if you died, a family member died during the hurricane, you get a benefit for that. I learned that one yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
So there's the part of FEMA that underwrites the flood policy, and there's a part of FEMA that gives out benefits based on economic status and certain other factors that they weigh. So that's two.
Yeah, and so the insurance is for flood. The other one is for federal emergency management. I mean, that's who they are. So hence like for Katrina, they gave out, what was it, like $1,200, $2,000 for everyone who was put out by Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
So they weren't asking whether you had flood insurance or not. It was just if you lived in the affected area.
Right, and that's because the government screwed up on the levies.
But I think that's what they're, it's not to the extent, but I think that's the $500 that some people will get.
That's right. So we finished hour number 1 on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. National news, local news. We'll be back in 10 minutes. See you then.
The News Talk Sports Leader, WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
I don't have any contracts, do you?
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. A federal judge orders a temporary stop to the Texas abortion law that bans the procedure at the first sign of cardiac activity. CBS's Nicole Scango with the latest.
Judge Robert Pittman granted the Department of Justice's motion for a temporary freeze as the constitutionality of the law plays out in the courts. The order from Pittman reads, "This court will not sanction one more day of this offensive deprivation of such an important right."
18-year-old Timothy Simpkins has been charged in connection with a shooting at his Arlington, Texas high school. Police say he opened fire during a classroom fight, injuring 4 people. CBS's Maria Villarreal with more.
So far this year, there have been 21 school shootings, 80 since 2018. Last year, during the COVID-19 pandemic, when most kids were doing remote learning, there were 10. After a short manhunt, Simpkins turned himself in with his attorney this afternoon. The weapon allegedly used in the shooting found 2 miles from the school. If you want to eat, drink, or work out indoors in Los Angeles, better bring your vaccination card. KNX reporter Craig Figner has more on one of the nation's toughest vaccine mandates.
Any business in Los Angeles serving food has to make sure their customers going inside are vaxxed. Same for gyms, personal care businesses, and any venue in the city of Los Angeles with a capacity of 5,000 or more people. Starts about November 6th. This is self-policing for Los Angeles businesses.
Capitol Hill lawmakers appear close to a possible deal on raising the debt ceiling. More from CBS's Nancy Cordes.
With Washington hurtling toward insolvency, Republican leader Mitch McConnell offered a surprise concession. He said his party would let Democrats raise the debt ceiling short-term for about 2 months.
The online gaming platform Twitch has become the latest victim of a data breach. An anonymous hacker reportedly posted a link to an online platform that included what they claim was Twitch's source code and info on how much their top streamers get paid. CNET editor-at-large Ian Scher.
Twitch has also been struggling with hate and harassment campaigns lately, and this is likely to exacerbate some of those problems. Ultimately, it could raise a lot of concerns about Amazon, which owns Twitch, and how it manages its services.
Shootings near Zion National Park prompted the lockdown of the city of Rockville, Utah. A man suspected of shooting at vehicles on State Route 9 southwest of the park is now in custody. No word on injuries. The White House is restoring environmental reviews for major infrastructure projects. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
Want to go someplace new? Yeah, you do.
Just follow me. I'll lead the way.
Welcome to CBS Mornings.
See something new.
Oh my God, that was a good moment. Learn something new. This is my first virtual reality interview.
Meet someone new. Like me. Nate B in the house. What?
There's always something new under the sun.
I came to shine because you guys are shining this morning.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
The only rain we've seen around the area has been a few isolated showers in the lower bayou parishes near the coast. Otherwise, we have been dry and a lot more sunshine, allowing temperatures into the mid-80s. It looks like mid-80s will be the norm for the next couple of days, although by and early next week, maybe more up.
Okay, we got a caller, Jeff from Mandeville, and he has some experience with his insurance people he would like to discuss.
Meteorologist Chris Franklin is moments away. Louisiana Governor John Bell Edwards got his COVID booster shot today.
Edwards and State Health Officer Dr. Joe Cantor rolled up their sleeves and got a COVID booster. The governor says if you took the Pfizer shot and it's been 6 months since you completed your full series, get the booster. Eligibility for a booster is pretty broad.
If, in fact, you are over 65, or if you are 18 and older and you have a comorbid health condition that makes you more vulnerable to the disease, or if you live or work in a setting that makes you more vulnerable. And we encourage you to get your booster as soon as you can.
Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
Both the governor and Dr. Joe Cantor got their flu shots today as well. It's another devastating blow to the LSU Tiger football team. This time, it concerns All-American cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. WWL's Christian Garrick has more.
More bad news for LSU football and Coach Ed Ogeron. Defensive back Derek Stingley Jr. is out indefinitely after undergoing surgery on his foot. The All-American cornerback said in a statement, quote, "I appreciate all the support from LSU and the fans. I'm doing all that I can to return to the field as soon as possible. I want to finish out the season with my teammates, and I will do everything I can to get healthy so that I will be able to play again this year, end quote. The Tigers play Kentucky this Saturday on the road in Kroger Stadium.
Debris collection in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida hit the 30-day mark today in Jefferson Parish. WWL's Dave Cohen tells us how much they've picked up so far.
In just Jefferson Parish, since Hurricane Ida, they've collected enough tree and vegetative
who do we have? We got from Mandeville?
Football fields, 50.
Yeah, Mandeville, Jeff.
18,000 loads of debris.
Steve Crawford with DRC Emergency Services told Jefferson Parish Councilwoman Jennifer Van Franken that next they're going to shift to picking up construction and demolition debris.
Picking up things like carpet, mattresses, roofing tiles, those kinds of construction and demolition type things, correct?
That is correct. It's the majority of the fleet. I still will be running vegetative debris.
He says they'll also start picking up mixed piles of debris.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Really, an isolated shower is all we've seen under mostly sunny skies. The shower chances have been the greatest near the coast and in the lower bayou parishes, but even that has been less than 10% rain coverage. And we are going to stay mostly dry really through our 7-day forecast going well into next week. Next couple of days may be a little less humid, as a reinforcing upper trough should help to finally bring in some of that slightly drier air off to our west into southeast Louisiana. Now, not dramatically so, but maybe a better feel during the day, and our morning should be a couple of degrees cooler. Afternoon highs, though, still either at or above normal in the mid-80s and mostly sunny skies. Lots of sunshine as we head into the weekend with afternoon temperatures into the upper 80s. Well above normal, but it's not only us dealing with the unfall-like temperatures. The eastern half of the nation will see temperatures running above normal through next week, as we don't have any upper troughs to bring us any of that cool Canadian air anytime soon. From your local weather
Here we go.
Center, I'm WWL-TV Chief Meteorologist Chris
From the
Franklin.
station you turn to when it counts, WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri with Michelle Demers Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We're on till 10 o'clock. We'll be on next week, Tuesday and Wednesday from 8 to 10. We won't be on All Things Legal Sunday morning because the Saints are playing the Washington football team.
Is that their new name?
Formerly known as the Washington Redskins.
And they're just the Washington football
They're
team?
the Washington football team.
So they're going to be yelling, "Go football team."
Go football.
Go football.
Go football. So,
all right.
You know, our little friend Ian, Elizabeth Jackson's soon-to-be husband,
He's
in the business office.
Yeah.
I think he's on the public relations.
So now their T-shirts just say Washington football.
Well, yeah, go football.
Go football. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
So
keep my mouth
they don't have a feather sticking out the football though.
I'm sure they don't.
They play at 12, so we're not going to be on.
Well, it's a good thing because we have the wedding the day before.
Now, let me tell you, I gave betting advice because Odyssey has a new app, which I have to get to, is because corporate says to do it twice. Once a show, but I'll do it twice. It says the BetQL network is available nationwide on the Odyssey mobile app and website. Yep, Wagertainment. I didn't come up with that. Wagertainment for every fan, morning, afternoon, and night. Get sports betting tips from the best in the game. On your, I'm not a very good promoter. Let's see, on your BetQL network. Okay, that's on Odyssey now. But if you don't want to tune into that, but you should. You're better.
You should.
But if you don't, you can take my advice right now.
And what is it?
Take the Saints.
And they get a couple.
They get a couple of points.
Oh, okay.
Because the Saints are up and down. They're like the yo-yo that Coach Payton gave out at practice. He said, "Y'all want to be yo-yos."
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, he's trying to make a point.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, he Coach Parcells was his mentor, And as a young lawyer, I did a contract with, Coach Parcells. It's like negotiating with Tony Soprano. I felt like it. He's a New Jersey guy,
Sure.
and you feel about 2 inches tall after he gets finished with you. But I could see something that was what Coach Parcells would have done.
Give out the yo-yo? Is that you?
Yeah, he makes a point. What he figures out is how to make his point with everyone. He sizes up your personality. Now, he just looked at me and he made his point a different way.
There you go.
But you learn from it.
Yeah, listen, you learn something every day.
But anyway, take the Saints the points. So, the dark cloud has now dissipated over the city of New Orleans. Like Monday was like people were down. I mean, they were like fed up.
Well, yeah.
But
it
now,
was bad.
Yeah. Now they're now they're sort of looking forward. Say, okay, well, this week's behind us.
Sure, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, so there we go.
Sure.
All right, we got Jeff from Mandeville. I don't think he's calling about sporting, betting advice. He's probably got an IDA question. So, Jeff, you're on the IDA Recovery Connection. What you have for us, brother? You calling from Mandeville, which is God's country. There you go. Or God's city.
Hi, good evening to Doug and Michelle.
Good evening.
I would just like to say that I very much appreciate both of you attorneys breaking everything down in simple terms so that I can understand it. Because, Doug, I'm a Jesuit graduate. It makes more sense to me. However, my brother is a De La Salle graduate. So I like De La Salle and I like Jesuit.
I do too.
I like both of
them. That is so funny.
I do. That's why I speak slowly sometimes for the Jesuit grads.
Now, I know you went to De La Salle, and I know that Albert went to De La Salle.
He went to St. Paul.
Yeah, he went to St. Paul's.
He was taught by the Christian Brothers. Now his brother went to his older brother, Phil Nico, went to De La Salle, and he graduated in '68. He was a great football player, recruited by Bear Bryant.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1980.
Oh,
so
my brother was way before you. He graduated in '67.
Right.
I graduated in '73 from Jesuit, but I was always a De La Salle fan, and my dad went to Jesuit, and it was hard for me to take that test. But when I passed it, I said, I can't let my dad down. I've got to go. And I tell you what, Doug, I hated it the 5 years I was there. But when I got out, I was the first person to tell everybody that I was a Blue Jay.
There you go. I
was proud of that. But anyway, what I'm calling about, I'm going to flip the tables on you a little bit.
Okay.
And just tell you that, once again, I appreciate this program. The day after the storm, on Monday, September 30th, I got an email from my insurance company telling me to submit all of my damages to them on the website, click on this, and you will be able to submit your form. Yeah. So I did that. I submitted all my damages to them. And they also asked for my checking account routing number and account number so that they could put the funds in there. I expected the worst, an adjuster fighting this insurance company and everything else. I got paid for all of my damages. In 2 days, I had a check deposited into my checking account. And I just want to say, I never had an adjuster come out. This was all based on me calling companies to come out and give me appraisals. They didn't even ask for the appraisals. Mm-hmm. They paid me. It's just a doggone shame that everyone in this country does not qualify for USAA.
I knew
insurance.
USAA.
I knew that, and I was either thinking.
I was an officer in the United States Marine Corps, so I earned it. But you don't have to be an officer. You just have to be a service member or a sibling. I mean, not a sibling, but a child, a dependent. Yes, ma'am, of a service member. And if you're not with that company, you need to hurry up and get with them.
Well,
because they are just unbelievable. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I've got to hang up, but I will listen to your comments on that.
No,
okay?
I would. First of all, I want to thank you for your service. we appreciate that because
thanks for your service too for what you're doing tonight.
Yeah, but I'm not dodging bullets like you did. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And I think when Jeff said to companies, I'm not here to promote a company, but what came to mind was USAA. Mm-hmm. They're a very, very good company.
Sure. And I don't work for them, but I've had them for 42 years, and I've never doubted them or tried to even. Nobody could blast me away from USAA. I mean, I have. I'm one of the few people in this country who can probably say that I'm a USAA member, and I've probably taken more than I'm putting into that company.
And I know we did a couple of thousand Katrina claims, and I don't think we had hardly maybe one USAA claim,
right?
Because they were all resolved.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. There's another one. I was thinking there was one or two companies, and I'm not here to say it. I either thought that USAA or you took that Jesuit education, made a whole lot of money, and bought the Cadillac insurance policy. So
I just took their regular homeowners.
Yeah.
And I just listed. They even waived my deductible because I said, "Well, you're going to subtract that $5,000 deductible?" They said no, because this was a catastrophic event. So we're going to waive that.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was just one thing after another. They paid for spoilage. They paid for relocation. They paid for transportation. They paid for lodging. They just paid for everything.
Wow.
And I couldn't have been more thankful to God and the USAA.
Well, I will say this. People served in the military deserve the best because you can't, any other country, you can't disagree with them. Or if you do, they throw you off the top of a building or something like that. And that's because y'all spilled a lot of blood so that we can have the ability to even dislike our country. And I think, I just want to thank you for your service. And I'm glad that there's USAA out there for families of veterans because they deserve the best health care, vocational opportunities, and the best that we have to offer, because without you guys, we would not be here. Or if we were here, we'd have a gun to our head telling us what we had to say or do.
Well, thanks for saying that, Doug and Michelle. And on that note, I just have to also salute the VA, the Veterans Administration, because they have been very good to us as well. And so I'm going to let y'all go and take some other callers, but I will be listening. And y'all have a great night and be safe.
I'm going to divert real quick before we go to a break, but we do all things legal. And there is a benefit called aid and attendance for veterans over 65 who meet a for certain asset level and have a disability, in addition to the other benefits that are out there. But it's very sad that I read a statistic that only 3 to 4% of the veterans who are eligible for it ever apply for it.
What? I know. Why is that?
It's just not publicized. Like, a lot of people just don't know about it. We used to do shows on All Things Legal on that particular benefit. And we had one of our clients, he stormed the beaches in D-Day. He lives in a little north of Folsom. And he could have availed himself to it for the last 20 years because he's 97 now.
Right.
And he didn't know about it. So that's just a little aside, just a little tidbit. That every time we mention that in the show, we get a lot of calls saying, "Gee, I didn't know about this benefit," especially for the Asian veterans who do need help. And so there you go. Well, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri, and Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints.
Okay, you are clear on the phone. There's no phone calls right now.
Bear, Deuce McAllister, and Mike Hoss. For all pro analysis of the teams you love, catch Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up
If
the
you
whole.
woke up more tired than when you went to bed, I think it's time to take a look at what you're going to bed and sleeping in. And I would suggest a Sleep Number mattress. I have one and I love it. I set that sleep number to 90, which is the level of comfort and firmness because I like the bed nice and firm. I check my sleep IQ, which is based on a score of 100. It's in the lower 90s, and I am getting good quality sleep. Now, Sleep Number beds are ideal for couples because it's 2 mattresses in one, and each person can have their own sleep number. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep, and right now you can save up to $800 on Sleep Number 360 smart beds, plus special financing for a limited time only at a Sleep Number store near you in Metairie on Vets next to Bonefish Grill, Covington Highway 21 in front of Winn-Dixie, or Homa, 1731 Martin Luther King, Magnolia Square. I'd call ahead of time. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com to get all the details.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Have you heard all these new national chain store ads that claim guaranteed low price? Like it's something new? Well, it isn't. Oakland Heart has been offering a best price guarantee for decades on the most exquisite diamond jewelry in the region. It's one reason why Gambit readers once again voted us best local jeweler. Apparently being local and honest means something. For finer diamonds and the best price, shop smart at Oakland Heart on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
Are you getting the runaround from your Hurricane Ida insurance company?
Is your insurance company not returning your call?
Are you being denied a new roof?
Are you receiving lowball payments from your insurance company?
We can help. Call me, Doug Sunseri, WWL radio host and attorney at Nico and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie, or go to our website at idahurricaneclaim.com.
Or on the North Shore, call me, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, at our office in Mandeville at 985-624-9697. We'll show the insurance company who's boss.
A Thursday night showdown is set for your Tulane Green Wave and American Conference rival, the Houston Cougars. Kickoff is set for 6:30 on October 7th inside Yeoman Stadium in the heart of Uptown. Get your tickets now for this American Athletic Conference showdown by calling 861-WAVE or heading over to TulaneTix.com. Roll Wave!
Have you tried learning a new language, but it never seems to stick?
Okay, we're going live after this one. I have one call coming in.
Babbel is different. Babbel's multiple ways to learn helps you explore every aspect of a new language, anytime, right from your phone or computer. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help from an instructor in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people. We keep them small so everyone can get the help and practice they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning motivation, Babbel gives you the tools you'll need to explore.
All right, I got Morris from Harvey who wants more information on that benefit you were talking about.
Classes to the podcasts and games will teach you things you'll actually use, so you're ready for real-life conversations. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, more ways to explore, more ways to learn. Start learning today at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. Del Sal alum. Your dad went to Jesuit.
My dad was a Jesuit grad.
He's a Jesuit guy. See, okay, I'm going to make a public confession.
Sure.
When I was in 8th grade at Del Sal, we lost to Jesuit, their 8th grade team, 70-15.
Oh, wow.
7-0 to 15.
Yeah.
Jimmy Tillett, who eventually coached De La Salle to a state championship, was the coach of the 8th grade team.
Oh, wow.
And our coach was an attorney, George Hebler.
Huh.
And George
didn't know much about football, huh?
Well, that's why he's practicing law now, because
was he a lawyer then, or was he a coach?
He was in law school.
I was.
He played baseball for UNO. He was in law school.
Huh.
And he would I don't even know if I should tell this story. He had a green Vega, and we used to have to practice at St. Stephen. And we'd have to run. And so he would say, Doug, if you can catch up with me, I'll ride you home. So I'd run to the Vega, and then he would pull off. And then he'd pull up again, and he said, if you can catch me, I'll ride you home. So I'd run, and then he'd pull off.
How many times did he do this before he figured it wasn't happening?
He did something else, which I won't tell.
Yeah,
I'll remind him all the time, but he's an attorney right now. So so I just wanted to embarrass him and get him back. But, I'm over the 70
I'm sure.
to 15.
Did you play on the team?
Yeah, I was the leading scorer. I had 2 points.
That's funny.
But I'm over it.
I understand you're over it.
I'm really over it. So no, we have fun. We have a good De La Salle Jesuit rivalry in our family. So we have a lot of fun with that. Okay, let's go. We got a phone call. We got Morris. You see, every time we mention this VA benefit, we'll talk to it. Hey, Morris, you on the Ida Recovery Connection?
You, Doug.
Hey, what you got for us?
Yes, thank you, Doug, for taking my call. And I've never heard of that benefit
that's my
either.
point.
Would you repeat that information for me?
It is called Aid and Attendance Benefit. Aid and ATDENDANT.
Aid and attendance.
Yeah, aid and attendance. And basically, it's a benefit if you're over 65, and then you have there's a certain threshold for income, or aside from your house, as far as assets are concerned, and you have some type of disability, you could qualify if you're a veteran for a benefit around $2,200.
Didn't you have to serve at least one day?
You have to serve 1 day during a time of war.
Right.
And
okay, I'm a Vietnam War veteran.
There you go. And then the benefit's about $2,200 per month. And if you're a widow, it's about $1,100 per month. What I would suggest you do is go to the VA, your local VA, and ask about it. And they'll give you a form.
Sure will.
And they'll give you a form. And then the good part is when you apply for it, it takes 8 or 9 months to apply for it. But if you get it, it'll be retroactive back to the date of filing. So even if it takes 9 months for the benefit to be approved, your benefit will be approved retroactively to the date of filing. So, you might get a check $18,000 or whatever, or thereabouts if you get awarded. So since it's retroactive. And you served in Vietnam?
Yes.
And thank you for our service. What branch did you serve in?
I was in the Army.
Okay. Well, Morris, we thank you for your service, and if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to be here. And we appreciate the sacrifice you made for us.
Thank you for that information, and I'm going to look into that first thing starting tomorrow.
Yeah, go to the VA, and they'll give you a form, and they'll tell you how to do it. And I can tell you, just get your discharge papers. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Here we have another question. Oh no, do we have anybody on the line? Oh, we had Morris. That's right.
We had Morris.
Okay, here's a question from the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. Have a house with laminate flooring, and 3 rooms were damaged with wind-blown rain. Insurance company only wants to replace the 3 rooms, but the floor is no longer made and will result in different flooring where it was all the same before the hurricane damage. Any suggestions? So basically what they're saying is it was they don't make laminate floors anymore, so they can't have a continuous flow.
Hmm?
I would argue that you have to have that continuous flow.
I'd argue that all of it has to be replaced.
All of it has to be replaced. And that goes for wood floors.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 1,500 feet of wood floors and part of it gets damaged, you got to replace the entire amount. You can't have patched up wood floors or different
especially if the rooms
grain.
flow into one another. If they're like with the text person, if it all flowed into, they were all adjacent to one another and it was a continuous flow.
Yeah. So I think under most circumstances, you need a continuous flow. And if one part of it's damaged, you need the entire. Much like the same concept if you have 4 walls in a room, and one of the walls are damaged with water stain, and the other 3 aren't. Well, you do replace the sheetrock for the wall with the water stain, but you repaint the other 3 walls because you will have different
Right, because they need to match.
Right. So, and the insurance companies usually allow that, or they should allow that.
Yeah.
I know the courts do. So they would. So, same sort of concept. And that leads me to another issue, is mold. And this, again, there's a mold exclusion in the policies. I've had a few calls. I guess we're the complaint department. So that's what we are. We get the complaints. Now, we did have Jeff commend USAA for paying off their claim, but that if the show was about people calling about their insurance company doing a good job, we would
have no call.
They would have asked us to stop doing the show about a month ago.
Right.
So, but as far as mold is concerned, sometimes it's misinterpreted because you might have, for whatever reason, maybe it's a desk adjuster he doesn't have a full understanding of what's happening in the home. Say, if it's got mold, we're not going to cover it because we have a mold exclusion. Now, the predecessor to mold is wet sheetrock,
right.
Wet sealants. That's the predecessor. Moisture, water infiltration. Now, if you want to know what the mold exclusion really applies to, is that if you have a wet wall that is wet from wind-driven rain, water leak, roof leak, what have you, that has to come out, even though it eventually turns to mold. What they're saying is the mold exclusion is if you have 4 walls in a room. Okay, you have wall number 1 that is wet, and it develops mold. That comes out. But if that mold jumps to a wall that was not wet, or drywall, or drywall that is not wet, that's not covered.
Right.
You see the distinction?
Yeah.
So, but sometimes they'll say mold's not covered. Well, yeah, it is covered because the predecessor of the mold was rain.
Right.
So that wall does need to be removed.
And that brings me to another topic, which I don't know if people understand, but you really can't keep that wet insulation. I mean, you've got to get it. You've got to pull it out.
Yeah.
You mean because it grows mold, and then if mold starts jumping to a dry wall, a non-wet dry wall, and then that's not covered, then you've got a mess.
Then you have a mess. That's a good segue. Let's go to a break, and I do want to talk about that as to what to do if you have a lot of water damaged walls and the insurance adjuster hadn't come out, and whether you should take it out or not, or wait for the insurance adjuster to come. So let's take a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
After Saints games, we all Monday morning quarterback. But Coach Payton and his staff get down to business, watching game tape, drilling down on team play and individual player performance. They see what we don't, size up what we can't. That's why we bring you the Saints Coaches Show. Hi, it's Mike Haas. Monday nights at 6:30, join me, Bobby A. Bear, and head coach Sean Payton for the Saints Coaches Show. Honest conversations on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network, WWL.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code LASports. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code LA Sports to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code LA Sports. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-293-1479. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-293-1479. That's 800-293-1479. 800-293-1479. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Can you pick winners? Well, then you can win cash. It's that simple. In the Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. Just pick the most games right this week, and you can score $1,000. Just like that. No lineups, no spreads, no rosters, and a brand new game each week. The Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. It's totally free to play, so enter now by texting PICS to 20357. That's PICS to 20357.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't keep regular business hours, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck after 5 p.m., don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Bradner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need.
All right, I have Lawrence, who happens to be on the road right now, and he has a question about debris in the home and what they're going to do about it.
Centralize. The 2021 Highlander and Tundra are ready to take you there. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today.
For all station contest rules, go to WWL.com/rules.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay,
Okay, last commercial is Navian, and then we'll go live.
relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers.
His name is Lawrence. Lawrence, like Lawrence of Arabia.
Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-256-4180. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Navian tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navian because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navian's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navian contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Dever Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Lawrence, who's on the road. Hey, Lawrence, you're on the Ida Recovery Connection.
Hello, Laura. Hello, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Basically, I'm asking a question in reference to Hurricane Ida. If someone's
patio cover was blowing off their house by the hurricane and hit my house. Is that something that
that's
their
damage?
insurance should cover?
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry?
Whatever damage the patio cover did, yes, absolutely.
And how do you go about getting that taken care of by their insurance?
No, I think he said, is their insurance responsible
No,
for it? It's your insurance.
Your insurance is responsible.
Okay, so the problem that I'm having is that my deductible is so high that my insurance would cover it.
I don't think you would be able to collect from their insurance unless that patio cover was somehow blighted, and you could prove that
They knew or should have known.
Yeah, if you could, the sole reason that the patio cover hit you is because they didn't secure it properly, and they,
Well, this is the situation. My son was home during the hurricane. I was on vacation out of town, and he was able to videotape it blowing off of their house, which was next door, over my fence, which landed against my house and knocked my chimney over a little bit. And basically they fell in my yard.
How much is your deductible?
Like $8,700.
I'm going to say that based on those facts, unless that patio was blighted in somehow, like loose debris, not secured at all.
No, it was very secured. It was fairly secured.
Then I don't think there's any. I don't think you can collect from their insurance company.
You can't collect from that.
No.
Okay. All right. I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, I don't think so. Now, I would check your policy to see if there's some type of exception to that, since it's not from wind-driven rain, but from another. It would be much like a tree. I guess it would be like a tree fell.
I think it's like a tree.
I was trying to process out loud if there's a loophole, but I can't think of one right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, got bad news for you. Got bad news for you on that one. All right.
So that's across the board on any hurricane that would come through.
I would say this: if you had a piece of debris that was blighted, or a blighted house that was not in accordance with code, that there was some type of violation, or yes, you could possibly do it in that situation, but not for just a secured patio that was,
But I would make sure you still make a claim, because it will go against your deductible this season in case something else happens.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, which I have. I have done that already.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks for the call.
For your help.
Okay, thanks for the call. Bad news.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. That happens with people's, their neighbor's tree falls on their house.
Right.
Or falls in their yard.
Unless it's, diseased.
Yeah.
And they knew. Now, we talked about before the break that a lot of people call and say, hey, I've got mold, I've got ceiling collapse, but I don't want to clean it out until the adjuster comes.
Yeah, or they don't even think that they need to, or they should. I don't understand the rationale, but
get it.
You need to get it out of the house.
Oh, now, if the adjuster hadn't come, what I would do is email the insurance company and say, look, you haven't been out here for 38 days now.
Right.
I have to remove this wet sheetrock, all this wet debris. I'm going to do it starting tomorrow. If you want an adjuster, send them out now.
Yeah, and just take videos, take pictures.
Take videos and
pictures.
Before and after.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll be okay.
Right.
So, and also, too, had sort of interesting call.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I heard.
You heard, huh?
Yeah, you want to share?
All right, I'm not going to mention names, obviously.
Don't mention names. But it could be, we get so many interesting calls from Ida, so I'm going to ask you, what are some of the things you shouldn't do when your adjuster comes out?
If you're dissatisfied with the adjustment, do not block them in with your car.
Don't block the adjuster in your driveway.
And demand
a
readjustment.
Yeah.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
It is.
No. So let's take it to the other side of that. Even though you have a disagreement with the adjuster and you feel emotion about that, still be polite, respectful, and kind.
That's right, because you're going to get a lot more with honey than with vinegar.
Right. I mean, we have to do that with lawyers all the time.
Sure.
Because, judges will tell us information that we don't like. And sometimes they tell us things that are very pointed and, they may be not totally correct in our opinion.
And not very nice.
Most of them are very nice.
I know, but
the one today I was in front of was very nice.
Yeah,
and
I'm not talking that
they're.
I'm just talking about sometimes their comments.
I'm just covering myself.
I got you.
So, but we can't tell the judge, get mad at them.
You can't block them in their chambers.
No, I can't. I can't throw my pencil at them and stomp my feet and start cussing them. I mean, you got to have a little self-control there. That's called maturity. No, so even if you have a disagreement with your adjuster and you're not getting anywhere with them, blocking him in is probably going to make the situation worse.
Right. Yeah, don't move the ladder from the roof.
Don't do that. And stick your tongue out at them. Can't do that either. But, be polite, respectful, and kind. And you can have a disagreement. And we do that as lawyers all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes we get heated, but most part we learn how to disagree without being disagreeable.
Yeah, to give your point without making
and being
it
respectful
about
and listen to it. And I think a lot of times if we, and look, I get it. It is frustrating and it's emotional to have your whole life turned upside down. And it adds more to if you feel like that the insurance company you've been paying is not being helpful to you.
Well, and I think we've been talking about this. That's the paradigm shift. That's the change in expectation. That if you can expect that they are protecting their own interest, which they are, then you might not be so disappointed and then frustrated.
Right. And so, again, I would just say it's not going to be helpful. A lot of times if you listen to them and that's what you maybe use a little information from this show and other things, other information you have, other situations, and try to impart that in a way that's digestible. Because part of this is a lot of times if you're so angry, which we all could be in that situation.
Of course.
They're not going to, the recipient of that information is not going to be receptive. They have defense mechanisms that go up. They sort of just tune you out.
Yeah.
And you're not going to communicate your point. Now, if you're polite, you're respectful, and you're thoughtful in your analysis, there's more of a chance that they would receive what you're saying and consider it. So, so I guess, if you're upset with your claims adjuster, I don't want anybody to say, we recommend not to block them in with your car. Among other things. Don't cuss them.
Don't cuss them and don't move the ladder.
Right, and don't move the ladder. And, like when they come in, ask, if they wanted some water.
Sure.
And, just be polite to them. And,
They're just doing their job.
They got a job to do just like we all do. And, we got to respect, be very, very respectful. So there you go. That's your lesson. Number one. We'll take a quiz next week to see if
we all remember.
Everybody passes. All right, let's go to our final break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Have you heard all these new national chain store ads that claim guaranteed low price? Like it's something new? Well, it isn't. It's just a lot of noise. Oakland Heart has been offering a best price guarantee for decades on the most exquisite diamond jewelry in the region. It's one reason why Gambit readers once again voted us best local jeweler. Apparently being local and honest means something. For 3 generations, we've worked tirelessly at Oakland Heart, driven by our passion to be the best. We've assembled a team nearly 50 strong. Gemologists, diamond buyers, designers, award-winning master craftsmen. Each one second to none. And our sales associates are warm, welcoming, knowledgeable, and never high pressure. We're passionate, not pushy. There is a difference. We invite you to come experience the Oakland Heart difference. For finer diamonds and the best price, Shop Oakland Heart on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that
Okay, you'll have just a shade over 5 minutes to the top of the hour and the end of the show.
Candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we know what it's like selling your car. It's scary. Look at the online reviews of my competition. The more you look at their reviews and then the more you look at Give Me the Vin's reviews, the more you're going to want to do business with GiveMeTheVin.com because we are quick, easy, and you don't get lied to. And that's our goal at America's very best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, our thoracic subspecialists are raising the standard in lung cancer care. We use advanced genomic testing to develop personalized therapies for each patient's cancer. With leading-edge technology like proton therapy, gamma knife and robotic surgery, and innovative clinical trials, we'll do whatever it takes to help our patients face and overcome lung cancer. Learn more at mdandersonlungcancer.com.
30 years ago this fall, a law professor named Anita Hill
Okay, going live right after this one.
at Clarence Thomas's Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Now, Because of Anita tells the real story of what happened and what's changed. You'll hear from journalists, witnesses, and activists and listen in on the first public conversation between Professor Hill and Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. That's Because of Anita, a production of Pineapple Street Studios and The Meteor, out now wherever you get your podcasts.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demers Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be back on next Tuesday after the Saints Hour, which is with the voice of the Saints, Mike Haas, and Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. So they'll be on from 7 to 8. We'll be on from 8 to 10. Do you know, in my agent days, I did a free agent rookie contract with a guy who was in the accounting department at the time, a guy named Mickey Loomis.
Ah.
I think it was 1991, 1992.
Wow.
They worked a deal because what they said was we're going to sign him, and he was actually a what do you call it? He needed some seasoning, so signed him, let him go through training camp, and then they said we're going to send him to the BC British Columbia Tiger Cats, and we'll see how he does, and does well, we'll bring him back. But he ended up staying in Canada for a while.
Interesting.
But he was a CPA I think he was a CPA by trade. So there you go. So we'll be on Tuesday, 2 Tuesday evening from 8 to 10. Okay, we got a text. Remember we were talking about matching?
We got Cindy on the phone, too.
Oh, we got Cindy on the phone?
Yeah, we have Cindy.
Oh, let's take Cindy. We got about 2 minutes. Hey, Cindy, what you got for us?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I have a friend who's didn't call. I'm calling for her, really. Who was called a week before the storm and asked if she wanted to decrease her deductible. So she said yes. So they went through the process now, and the storm came, and the decrease in her deductible goes into effect on the 30th, not the 29th.
Oh.
So what did she? How did she stand with that?
Did the hurricane affect her past the 30th?
Damage.
No, I know. Well, I think it was the 29th. Did it go into the 30th?
Yeah, it
The
did go
hurricane?
in. I think it hit us at 1 a.m.
But was that the 29th or was it the 30th?
30th.
That was the 30th.
Well, she might be in luck. I mean,
Well, how do you prove that?
Well,
I would use where she's located. They use meteorology maps.
when the highest winds
when
were.
the highest winds were.
If the gusts were after 12 o'clock and the most likely the damage occurred, she might be in it. Yeah, I think I would do research on
Tell her that
the wind field.
she would have never called. Okay.
Well, you're a good friend.
You're a good friend. Tell her to go to the official. I mean, there's websites to talk. What city is she in?
Metairie.
She's in Metairie. Well, a lot of the that's an interesting argument, and I think if you could establish that the majority of the damage occurred on the 30th, I think she's in play for that lower deductible.
I mean, it goes from 87 to like 40 something. Her deductible. That's a full cry.
Yeah, well, I would check the wind fields in Metairie.
And she's retired like I am, So
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell her.
All right, we'll do that.
Honesty.
Good
Okay.
luck.
All right,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's an
It's an
interesting question. Text about a fence saying, we're talking about if one wall was damaged, she'd have to paint all 4 walls in the room to match it. Fences may be a little different and maybe a tougher sell. If it's a generic fence, that probably could be repaired. If it's the specialty fence, then you could make an argument that it would need to be continuous. And I'm trying to think maybe if it's I would say it's probably, I'm thinking out loud, but that's probably a tough argument.
Yeah, I think it would be a tough, especially if it's a wooden fence,
Yeah,
because it's going to age.
They all got weather. Yeah, they're all sort of weather worn.
Right.
And you could probably match it pretty closely. So that would be a repair.
If it was like a wrought iron fence and it was damaged and they couldn't get that wrought iron, because we saw some fences out here, some of the wrought irons were picked up.
Yeah.
And so that would so I think it depends on what
Yeah,
the fence
so
is and
that would
whether
be a harder stretch. So that would be tough. So there you go. And as we say, just a change in mindset. It's ultimately the policyholder who has to establish damages. The insurance company's not going to do it for you. It's really not their function. They do pay an initial payment. Part of it's because they did an inspection. They do get some money out, but it's not going to be the full amount of money. They do not overpay.
No, they do
under any
not.
circumstances.
And I think one other thing, and I know we're going to wrap it up, but people are starting to get their checks now, and just so they're not surprised, the checks will be made payable to themselves and their mortgage company if there is a mortgage.
That's a very good point, right? And you have to deal with your mortgage company. If you have a local mortgage company, it's a lot easier because you can show up. But a lot of companies have out-of-state mortgage companies like Wells Fargo and with Mr.
Quinn and all those Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, so that might be a little tougher. And we'll talk about that next week. So we'll be back next Tuesday after the Saints Hour at 8 o'clock for the Ida Recovery Connection. Thank you for being with us, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for walking across the hall. And so we'll be back in a week, Tuesday. We'll see you then. Go Saints and go Tigers.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.